I got a surprise for y'all. Y'all ready? All right. 3, 2, ta-da! Yes, guys. My hair is in two. What can you do? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Forget to Evolve podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest, G Money. Right? It's nothing funny. I feel like I just saw y'all the other day. Because I literally did, huh? It's Friday. It's Friday. Guys, I hope y'all been working hard. So y'all could take a load off this weekend, a much deserved load off. And if you ain't been working hard, what you been doing? All right, then I can leave you to think about that one. But I hope the week was good to y'all. I hope y'all been being good to the week. I hope y'all staying hydrated. Yes. I practice what I preach. And I practice what I teach. So I got a little bit of a treat for y'all. We got to get through our first two segments. First segment, Speak Easy, where we speak easy. Duh. I have a think piece for this episode. I'll start off. It's about controversy. I want to start off with: is the wind gonna take me? You know what I mean? I'm gonna start off with controversy. Oh, it's the topic is controversy. Sorry, and I'm gonna start off by defining what controversy is. So, controversy is a prolonged public disagreement or heated discussion. Now I'll move into my think piece. I think sometimes being controversial is just provoking thought or challenging people to think, which is something that most don't do anymore. What you say may challenge what they believe or have accepted to be true. Some of these things may be pillars of their identity or ideologies, and you come in and with one fell swoop, you tear them down. That's a war yard. Most see questioning as a fatal thing to do. However, it is the perfect time to see how well said belief stands against testing. Are there any holes or inconsistencies? How will it stand against the test of time? What will deep reflection and research bring to a head? What is the true foundation of the belief in question? I hope y'all can hear that bird singing like it's literally going off. Let's come back. Are there any holes or inconsistencies? How will said belief stand against the test of time? What will deep reflection and research bring to a head? What is the true foundation of the belief in question, and how does it stimulate growth and healing in your life? Questioning is essential. It can either reinforce or dissolve your belief / faith in something. Sometimes we need that. Hence, controversialists, don't be afraid to be controversial within reason. To the audience or to the affected, don't project or be so hasty to reject. Reflect, spiral. Yeah, I mean, I wrote this a little sometime this year, I know. But basically, I feel like it speaks for itself. I do think that sometimes, as someone who may say something to provoke thought or someone who is affected by it, I feel like I am on both ends of the spectrum sometimes. It just depends. It's important, everything that you believe, if it can't take test and if it can't take poking, then 9 times out of 10, your whatever your foundation is, it's not strong enough. If you have a strong enough foundation in whatever it is you may believe, whatever this ideology or thought or whatever it may be, if it's strong enough, if it's secure enough, if someone was to come and test it with however they decide to come and test it, I believe everything should be done respectfully, obviously. But if they come disrespectfully, however it is, you won't be so rattled, because to you it's just like, well, my faith is what it is, or I believe this because I know whatever to be true, blah blah blah. I've done my research, or I just know it from my lifetime experience and stuff like that. So yeah, man, you see what I'm saying? It's really nothing to it. Now moving on to the highlight reel, where we highlight reel. We have a giant of a woman today, Beulah May Donald. Y'all, this woman single-handedly beat the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. All right. In 1981, the trial of Josephus Anderson, an African-American charged with the murder of a white policeman, took place in Mobile. At the end of the case, the jury was unable to reach a verdict. Henry Hayes and James Knowles. Henry Hayes was 26, James Knowles, 17. They decided they would get revenge for the failure of the courts to convict the man for killing a policeman. This revenge manifested in the lynching of Michael Donald, which is Beulah May's son. Okay, also Henry Hayes and James Knowles, they were a part of the United Clan. Mobile is in Alabama. I think these are things that I should mention. All right, in February 1986, an all white, this wasp is still around. Ooh, pretty close. In February 1986, an all white jury in Mobile returned a verdict awarding Donald $7 million. Obviously, she lawsuit. Her son was lynched in. Okay, boom. The judgment forced bankruptcy of the United Clans of America, and in 1986, the month of May, the terrorist organization turned over the deed to their national headquarters in Tuscaloosa, that one almost tripped me up, Alabama, to Donald along with the other property. She died of natural causes in the hospital on September 17th, 1988 at 69. I want to know what was done with the money and these buildings. Was it given to charity? Like, what do we do about this? Hayes was convicted of the murder of Michael McDonald by a jury consisting of 11 whites and one black person. Hayes received the death penalty and was executed in 1997. Knowles, however, pleaded guilty and escaped the death penalty in exchange for his testimony against Hayes. He was sentenced to life in prison. The lesson, y'all, fight for what you believe in. Fight against injustice, no matter how likely or unlikely you think it is that you will receive compensation or that justice will be done or justice will be served. I'm sure she had her doubts. I'm sure that there was times where she was thinking, y'all, man, this don't even make no sense. Especially at that time, bro, the odds of her actually getting something that off was like really slim to none. But it still happened. So fight. Get up, stand up, fight for your rights. All right, let's get into your treat. See y'all on the flip side. Hair has and will always be a major part of girlhood, especially for little black girls. It's one of the first ways we learned about beauty, patience, and pride. Whether the memories were sweet or a little painful, we remember them all. A comb chasing your cousins out the kitchen, the infamous Adam's apple brush that had you feeling like the skin on your nape was missing, the smell of blue magic or royal crown filling up the room, the hum of gossip and jolts of laughter floating through the salon. We remember sitting between our mama's knees, hearing the click of beads. Those days were planted seeds. Whether mom was watching Harry Potter, Law and Order, or on the phone gossiping about the pastor's daughter, you remember. Hair day wasn't just about looking good. It was a ritual, a lesson, a love language. Our hair held stories before we even knew how to tell them. Some of us were praised for our texture and length, and some of us were teased. Told our hair was too short, too coarse, too much. But no matter the story, our hair became a mirror. We learned endurance, sitting still for hours as that one section somehow turned into another 40 braids. We learned care, from the hands that oiled our scalps and parted our roots with intention. And now, as we grow, we're learning healing, realizing that mending our relationship with our hair is mending something deeper within us. Every twist, every trim, every unraveling of a braid is a small act of becoming, of returning to ourselves, soft and whole again. And maybe the most beautiful part is knowing we get to pass it down. The love, the lessons, the rituals. Without the pain, without the shame, without the trauma. Just the beauty, the freedom, and the joy of what it means to be us. Y'all like that, huh? I'm telling y'all guys, I'm really trying to up the production value. Every time y'all watch, I want it to be something new. I don't ever want y'all to feel comfortable or be complacent. I don't ever want y'all to think like y'all know what's about to happen or what's going to go on next. You know what I mean? Don't get too comfortable. Now that y'all know what the episode is about, y'all understand why my hair is in two, everything is coming together, yay, yippee. I want to start off talking about something I think is very, very important. I feel okay. First of all, black hair in general, is a very vast topic. It's a very broad. It's not broad even. It's very deep. You know what I mean? I don't think that I could cover everything or say everything or address every problem and situation, or I can't address everything in this one episode. You know what I mean? I could always come back and give you all a part two, give you all a part three. But for this episode sake, I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. I want to start off speaking about texturism. I feel like texturism as well as length, they are two of the building or the foundations of a lot of the prejudice within the black community, specifically for women, as well as, skin color. But like I said, we're talking about hair, we're not talking about. But even then, I feel like that is also a little bit of intersectionality there, because when you think about it, most people associate looser curl patterns with lighter skin tones, and you know how that goes. So I don't really, uh, we don't need to talk about skin tone. That's another thing for another day. We ain't tackling that today. So with texturism, I feel like you may have benefited or been a victim of it. I've been fortunate enough that I was never a victim, nor did I benefit. I feel like my hair texture, I don't even remember my hair texture when I was younger. I'll put a picture up. Y'all let me know like what I feel like. Maybe it was like a 4C though, to be honest. But I always had really thick hair. My hair was really thick, and for the most part pretty, I guess, like, I wouldn't say it was long, but it wasn't really short. So I never really experienced firsthand issues with being teased or being a victim of texturism or lengthism. I'll coin a new term, lengthism, because we still to this day have people making the comments about, oh, you bald headed, or people going on social media like saying something something something, but I never been bald headed, or y'all think because I wear wigs that I bald headed. This different stuff like that. Why are we still carrying this whole bald headed trope? Why are we still bringing this around with us? It's 2025. Let's just leave it in the past. You know what I mean? And I feel like we've all been a victim, not a victim, but well, some people have been a victim, and some people have been on the other side inflicting this kind of pain or trauma, or these. You've been the jeerer. You've jeered. So I think I probably have. I don't feel like, even when I can't necessarily remember things, I don't ever try to excuse myself, because it's like, bro, there's definitely a chance that I probably was someone who teased somebody about texture at one point, or about having shorter hair. Because like even now to this day, I've always been someone with pretty long hair. My hair grows very quickly. I have very thick hair. So when it comes to suffering from, oh, you bald headed, that's never been my case. Giving y'all a little bit of backstory. So I don't remember exactly what year or when it was, but my mommy, she relaxed my hair. Maybe when I was going into first grade, or I think. And I was a perm girly from then to like sixth grade. The summer, I have to put that picture in y'all. I had bangs, bro. I had bangs, because I mean I cut the bangs though, because I was about to cut off my hair anyway. I was doing a big chop, so it was like it didn't really matter. But even then, I did the big chop 2016 that summer, and my hair grew back pretty fast. I didn't, because I was growing it out before I cut it. I had some hair, and then like after that, like I say, my hair grows really fast, so it wasn't a very long time before I had a good amount of hair on my head again. So yeah, um, to those who prefer shorter hair, to those whose hair doesn't grow as fast, we love you. We still support. Whether you have a. I don't really. I'm not a person now who is very texturous. I feel like before I had internal insecurities about it. I wanted my hair to be looser curls. I wanted to do the. Y'all, it's raining, bro. It's raining, so I think we're gonna have to move this somewhere else. One momento. Uno momento, por favor. Because I was about to say it in English and Spanish. My life, my life, my life in the sunshine. All right, y'all. Pardon me. Back. The rain held up just for us in this episode. Well, I don't remember where I was exactly. Okay, I think I do. What I was saying was because I started to lose my train of thought. What I was saying is here in this community, we hold space for all textures, all lengths, all hair colors, all that. You feel me? Um, I feel like I was never a very texturous person towards anybody but myself. I feel like there was internal texturism going on because I really wanted my hair. I don't know if I said already, but my hair texture was 4B majority, mainly, sorry, and a little bit of 4A in certain areas. So I wanted to have like a looser curl pattern, but I don't even think it had anything to do with my pattern. It was just the thickness or the density of my hair, y'all. My hair is very thick. So I wanted to do the loose buns. I mean, I keep saying the loose. I want to do the messy buns and stuff like that. But I couldn't do it because my hair is just so thick. And I'm not complaining about that. That's a blessing. A lot of people would want to have thick hair. But shoot. Now I'm cool and y'all. I didn't say it as yet, but I've really been fighting the urge to comb out my locks because I miss my fro so much. I feel like I'm more now in a place to actually maintain and embrace it. Just give it the TLC it deserves. You feel me? Um, yeah, I think that's really the wrap up that I was having for that segment, I believe. For sure. Moving on. Speaking of thick hair, right? So, like I already said to y'all, to preface everything that's about to come. Good, I said it. I have very thick hair. My hair grows very quickly. I feel like there's this crazy notion that some people have, right? It's like some people are taken aback by my hairiness, right? My arms, legs, all that. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're happy that I have not happy, but you compliment and you're so, oh my gosh, like you have thick hair, like wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then when it comes to hair being anywhere else, you like people adore thick hair and thick eyebrows. But then when you have hairy arms and sideburns and stuff like that, it's just like, as a woman, why do you know what I mean? And the thing is, for me, I was very insecure about my hairiness for so long in my life. I remember I had like my sideburns, where y'all see them now, they stop here. My sideburns literally used to go all the way down here. And I used to get teased about them. People used to make remarks and, insecurities, a child. So I cut them, I would shave them. And then, once you do that, there's no going back. My mustache, people used to talk about it. So I went and shaved that. Once you do that, there's no going back. My legs, my arms, I really have not shaved my legs and arms for a very long time. I've stopped shaving overall, to be honest. Even under my arms, I may do a little trim every now and again once necessary, but I don't shave anymore because it's more damaging to my body than it's more damaging. It does more damage, it does more harm than it does good. And I do have that choice. I feel like, don't let society make you feel like you don't have a choice. You know what I mean? But we'll get into that a little more deeply later. I don't want to go too far too fast. What I also want to say is I've discovered that I have not been diagnosed. I haven't been to the doctors yet, but I do believe very firmly that I have PCOS. Um, and that's basically, was it polycystic ovary syndrome? Something like that. But it does affect your hormones, so I have a hormonal imbalance, which in some cases causes me to produce more testosterone than normal women would, stuff like that. And I just feel like that's something that I would like to speak about, spread awareness about it. um I don't know that much about it to sit here and really say like, oh, give you all a classroom lesson type thing, but I'm definitely gonna do my research and look into it more because I think it's something that I have. And for too long, I feel like I've been very insecure about myself, the hair on my body, all that. But I'm now in a place where I am who I am, and that's just what it is. You feel me? Like I feel like I've grown within myself enough to not be scared or hide my imperfections or things like that. I don't feel the need to try to do more harm to my body than good just to appease everybody around me and fit into the stereotype or the boxes that people see femininity to be or people believe that a woman should be, right? It's crazy. It's just like you want women to have long thick hair. You admire that trait, those traits in a woman with thick eyebrows, but if she has hair on her legs or anywhere else on her body, it's just like you. See, it's contradictory. All right, as y'all see, I begin to embrace editing more. You all see a lot of these little transitions and fade into black and stuff. I'm not cutting out none of the nitty gritty. Um, I'm just trying to make it as smooth as possible. It's easier for y'all to watch. There's a lot of moments where my mind goes blank. Like I've talked about the brain fog, all this different stuff. And I don't want y'all sitting there for like 30 seconds just waiting for me to get myself together. As well as color grading, I did it on the last episode and I really enjoyed it. It was a fun process. So just look for more quality production as we go forth, as I learn more. Literally, the crazy thing is too, I didn't want to do any kind of editing, and I think I said it in my first episode. I was like, bro, I'm not into that editing stuff. I want this to be one take, you know what I mean, just one shot kill the crow kind of thing. But that's not what it is. And if I want the production, I realized that if I wanted the production to increase, if I wanted it to get better, I would have to put more work in. So that's what I'm doing. And I want to get into film and cinematography, so it's perfect. Like this is the perfect place for me to practice. You also like that like nice buttery cinematic kind of, you know what I mean? I want y'all to have something beautiful to look at. I know that I'm already beautiful and y'all love looking at me, but why not give me to you guys in a more cinematic way or a more cinematic feel? You feel me? Good stuff. You're getting soul food, you're getting a beautiful face, and now you're getting cinematic quality. Or that's the aim. You know what I mean? That's what we're working towards. It don't get no better than that. If y'all leave, y'all just ungrateful. You see what I'm saying? I'm joking though, but I want to talk about discrimination discrimination and policing of black women's hair in the schooling system as well as like corporate culture. So I don't remember the I don't have my phone on me. I'm gonna go. I need to run inside and get the phone right quick because I want to call the right bank's name. I'm gonna call them out. One moment, un momento, por favor. But no, before I do that, let me give y'all the story. Gonna go get my phone, come back, give y'all the name. My friend, not 2 years ago, not a year ago, not six, literally beginning of this month, ending of last month, she applied for a job at a bank. She did not get the job. I She didn't get the job because of her hair. They make exception. They make exceptions for natural hair. That's what they said. They make exceptions for natural hair. They will bend the rules for natural hair and braids, but they will not bend the rules for locks, which is a natural hairstyle. And it's crazy to me that you're bending the rules, quote unquote, for natural hair and or braids. So what do you expect in a predominantly black country and region? What do you expect their hair to look like? You feel me? This is the issue. You're upholding. These people are upholding. I letting this bank get away, y'all. Like I'm right back. I'm gonna say the name. Give me a second. All right, y'all. I back with it. I was right. I was thinking about it. It was Commonwealth Bank. So you're telling me, once again, just to reiterate, right? Just to really give you all a taste of this. And I'm gonna ask her for the screenshot so I can show y'all that I ain't lying, but I can try to put it in. Well, you know what? Maybe that's too far. Just know it's Commonwealth Bank. They won't bend the rules. They'll bend the rules for natural hair. They'll bend the rules for braids, but they will not accept locks. They won't bend the rules. What does bending the rules look like? That's my question. What does bending the rules look like, and why is this a thing? Why are we upholding these Eurocentric beauty standards and traditions? You know what I mean? And think about this. It's so crazy because if I was to go away, let's say it's stupid. If I was to go away to be an accountant or to do something within that field, right? And I come back home. I go off to I get my degree, everything. I get my master's. I spend so much time putting myself in a better position, pursuing these degrees so that I can come home, make good money, do what I need to do what I love to do, right? If this is my passion, finance. And I'm unable to get a job because of my hair. that I may have been growing maybe before I left for school, or maybe when I went over there, because it meant something spiritual to me. It was a journey. You know what I mean? Because to me, when I think about locks, especially for most people, at least not everybody, but most people, me, let me start. I can't speak for everybody. And that's my issue. Sometimes I be trying to speak for everybody. For me personally, my locks was a journey. And it wasn't just a journey of going from short to long hair or nothing like that. It was very much learning to accept myself and love myself. Because, oh my gosh, y'all, I don't know if you remember that episode when I was talking about the hummingbird, but the hummingbird is back. Um, oh my, y'all, hold on, bro. Y'all have to see. I can't, I feel like y'all think I be lying sometimes when I talk about these animals. Let me see if I could get it for you. Where it is. Oh, wait, I coming back, y'all. I gotta get the video. Oh no. All right, guys, I got the video. This can be a lot of editing, though, I ain't gonna lie. But like I was saying, so yeah, it was a spiritual journey for me. It was a spiritual journey as well as just a self development, a quest to love myself. Like, you learn so much with growing your locks, and imagine you do that for years. It means so much to you. Hair holds a lot. It could be good, it could be bad. You know what I mean? But it holds a lot of weight. It holds a lot of memories. And imagine people telling you, well, you can't get a job, or majority of places you go to, you can't get a job because you have locks. You can't get a job because you have locks. You overqualified, but you can't get a job because of your preferred hairstyle. And it's not even a matter of, oh, your locks looking unkept or anything like that. Because the thing is, thinking about it, with certain styles, like if you have, let's say, your locks like medium size, right? You have just a simple box, um, the box parts or whatever it may be. It's nothing you go get, or you maybe your compromise is, I will, get it retwisted a little more often, or get it retwisted like every once a month or something, get a style, a neat style. I keep putting all these things in quotes because neat, like neat, kept, professional, like these words just, you know what I mean? I feel like all these words, when put into perspective or put in context or with context of black hair. Hold on, let me make sure that makes sense. When put in when in reference, it's better. When in reference to black hair, it's always racist. It's always racist. It's always just, there's some prejudice there. Y'all know the Royal Crown Act that they had to pass, and I think that was like 20. When was the Royal Crown Act passed? Research. Too far from the. Oh no, I wasn't. 2013. So it's just like, well, at the end of the day, what I really want to convey here is, we are in a predominantly black country, in a predominantly black region. Why are you not accepting people or telling people that they're not getting a job because of locks? Why are you bending the rules for natural hair or braids? You know what I mean? Because the thing is, right, if you are bending the rules for natural hair, if you're bending the rules for braids, what is then acceptable? That is what's concerning to me. What are we going to consider to finally be acceptable? Perms, permed hair, wigs. And then the thing is, even with wigs, it's just like, even sometimes the wigs they have a problem with. So it's just like, where do we have the space to be black in a predominantly black country? Why is it that my clients come into the bank with locks, with braids, with their natural hair, but I have to stand here with a perm head? That don't make no sense, y'all. That don't make no sense. Um, it's just, and I feel like I could talk about it all day, all night, Marianne, but someone else taking a flight and it ain't me. Powerful. Safe flight though. Um, yeah, but it's crazy. It's just crazy to think about that. And then one of the let me give you a more recent example. I saw this on Facebook. So this someone had posted about this lady, right? She had said a lot of nasty things. She had made a lot of nasty remarks regarding, what's his name, Jaden Adrian of Guyana. I don't know. I don't think the lady was Guyanese though, but she might have been a Bahamian who the person found, and they just, yeah. He took 27 CSEC subjects and scored grade 1 on 21 of them. So, and on the remainder, the next 5, he scored grade 2, which I guess, we didn't, that's not our grading scale, but I'm assuming maybe that's like A and B. So imagine that. First of all, I didn't know we even could take that much subjects. 27, bro. He took 27, got A on 21, 5 on the other 5 a B, right? This woman was concerned more about his hair, the way his hair looked. And I put a picture, I'll insert the picture, y'all know how that go, just to show y'all, right? This young man, whether he decided that, and the thing is, it's so crazy sometimes, people just speak to speak. What if he was so busy studying he didn't have time to go get a retwist? His mind was more focused on making sure that he does well and he excels on the exams. Because my thing is, listen, he could have gone into the exams fresh up and fail, but he didn't. My thing is, whether he wants to get a retwist or not, it's his business, it's his concern, it's his choice. You feel me? Just like when my Grammy them tell me, oh, and I quick to tell them, I quick to hit them with this, bro. When my Grammy say, oh, you just need a retwist or you need to get them tightened, because they don't, the older people don't say retwist, they say tighten. I say, listen, all that is you trying to uphold the Eurocentric beauty standard, and that is kill it right there. Boom, let that dead. You know what I mean? How my hair look? How my hair look? And it's so crazy too. People don't realize the more you retwist and retwist and retwist your hair, a lot of times with that manipulation, it can cause thinning. So retwisting your hair every 2 weeks is not a good idea in the long run. And then the thing is, it's always people who never had locks speaking on locks. It ain't no like fault to my Grammy or nothing like that. Like I say, from the generation she come from, there was a certain look that you had to have your livelihood or to maintain livelihood. So I can't even sit there and be tripping off that. We have more freedom aesthetically, or we have more freedom overall to do a lot of different things that they couldn't do. Because I'm sure if most places, if you had locks, you could not get a job, period, point blank, period. And if you look like me, 100%, almost 100% certain that you was not working in no bank looking like me. You feel me? And that's just what it is. I could go on and on about this, y'all, but I give a few examples and I would say what I want to say. So I remember, and I think a lot of people will remember, I call out these institutions. So CR, I think it was around that 16, 17 time when it was this young lady. She was on the news about it or Facebook or somewhere. But I remember seeing it. It was a big thing. Her hair, they told her that her hair was unkept. And the thing was, the principal or someone had said that her hair was unkept. I think they even sent her home. She had a nice slicked up hair, a nice slicked up puff. It was just, they told her hair was unkept. I remember at one point, I had a puff. My hair, it wasn't up like that, but it was just more so. It was less hair up. It was just more fro, and I was told that my hair was unkept by my principal. Why? What are we teaching black women? What are we teaching black girls when we tell them that their natural hair is unkept, it's unprofessional, it's not neat, all these different things? What are we telling them? Right? And it's so crazy to me, because how is it that, because I'm thinking about this, some of these people, right, some of these supervisors, whether it be man, woman, men or women or whoever it is, right, you go to work, you spew and uphold these anti-black, white-centered rules, right, police black hair with these kind of with things that they did or they used to keep us down, right? You police us like this. Then you go home to your little black daughter. Like, how do you feel? How would you feel if your daughter with her natural hair? Because that's the thing too. I mean, maybe they already perm her hair or something, or who knows. But how would you feel if someone was to tell your daughter her natural hair was not good enough for the job? Don't have anything to do with her education, but her natural hair, it's not good enough for the job. You might bend the rules for it, but you know what I mean? Different things like that. To me, it's just, And it's like, okay, you won't say anything to Roger, who always sexually harassing his coworkers, his female coworkers, but let a woman come in there with her natural hair. There's something that may be said, or that you won't take somebody, you won't accept somebody for their locks. You know, you feel as though, let's say you have them on a job working with locks, you feel as though they need to, it's time for a retwist. You let them know that, but you won't say anything to Roger. Like, what are the messages that we are sending? What are we portraying? What are we conveying when we do these things? That's just something, like, that's just food for thought. And if you happen to be one of these people who talk about length, texture, natural hair, whatever it may be, I feel like, just specifically length and texture, as a black woman, I don't like the hair, and I don't want to hear another black woman telling another black woman her hair is too short, or she bald headed, or her hair nappy, because if we don't have each other, who do we have? You know what I mean? Who do we have? You tearing me down. You know what it's like to be a black woman anywhere in the world, not even in America, forget America, anywhere in the world. Yet you speak to me so unkindly. If you have an issue, I feel like, and that's another thing, if you have an issue with someone's character, and that, I'm not saying it means to not hold another woman accountable or anything like that. If you have an issue with a woman's character, speak to her about her character, you know. But when you all have an issue with a woman, a fellow woman, another black woman, and you talking about her hair and her appearance and this and that, what are we doing, bro? Like, what are we doing? But you know what? That's like another episode. I feel that would be a really good topic. That'd be something good to talk about. Um, yeah, bro. I feel like all that need to dead. All that needs to dead. All of that needs to be dead and gone. This is people's livelihood. Like, is just kill it, bro. Kill it, kill it, kill it. This new generation coming up, I feel like this is our time to shine. When we get into these spaces, when we get into these corporate spaces, because it's like, it's crazy. You could be overly qualified. You could be overqualified. You could run the place yourself, honestly. You know what I mean? The only thing you don't have is the years or the experience. But you could run the place. You could be the boss of the place. But because of your hair, you're not allowed to work there, or you can't work there. That don't make no sense to me. I feel like at this point it's just a way of trying to keep people thinking it's a dog eat dog world. They don't want you get in because you're so qualified. They gotta find another reason. So they talk about your hair. And it's also something to think about. When when um when the white man them used to go over on the boats them, right, to take slaves from Africa or wherever else. Specifically, what I remember, them taking Africans, they're them enslaving African people. They would cut off their hair to do what? Take them away from, make them forget about their identity. Cut away their identity. You know what I mean? Because it's easier to control somebody when they don't have a sense of who they are, right? Think about these things, bro. Like, people think it's so, it ain't that deep and this and that, but it really is that deep. It always is that deep. It's always that deep. I will always stress to anybody, it's always that deep. So don't sit there and, oh, hey, that's serious, man. It's just hair. It's just blah blah blah. Come on, guys. Anyway, speaking of it's just hair, let's talk about the betrayal of the black hair. When you go into the salon, everybody, I feel like almost every black woman has a horror story with the salon. You know what I mean? Um, Maybe black men too. I feel like I haven't really. Let me tell you, I do support black men having hair, but I would say this: a lot of black men, they have hair, but don't necessarily know how to take care of it. And I feel as though if you're gonna have hair, at least know how to do the basics. I'm not saying you need to know how to cornrow, you need to know how to twist, and but just know how to wash, moisturize, and maintain your hair. That's my only request. You feel me? That's all I ask. All I ask is if you know what I mean. But everyone, like I was saying, everyone, most people have a horror story. I know I do, right? Quick story time. Quick story time. Basically, some people know that I had locks before this set. This is my second set of locks. I had to get rid of my first set because it was damaged by some bleach. What happened was I box dyed it. I did some lightening with a dark and lovely, like I always do. It was fine. I didn't mind it. My mommy was like, "Oh, you got some spots that whatever." She sent me to her hairstylist. Now, not a disclaimer or anything, but to speak and give grace. Even then, even when I was upset, I didn't necessarily blame her because I was like, she is a specialist at dyeing and bleaching hair, but I don't think she does locks. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of put that in perspective. But my locks is fry dried. If I could find a picture, well, I know I have pictures and videos, but I'll probably show it. But I had to get rid of those. I had to get rid of those. I couldn't walk around like that anymore. I was just not happy. And my hair wasn't healthy and I could tell my hair wasn't healthy. So I just started fresh. And look where I am now, 2 years later. But yeah, like I said, everyone has a horror story. Most people, can't say everyone, but majority of women have a horror story in the same salon that you had good times in. Maybe not the same one sometimes, but the same place you had good times, you also had some really bad experiences. May not be the specific, not the same exact place, but the salon, right? Now, the crazy thing is, sometimes these things that are done to your hair can be intentional. Um, Whether it's more so out of spite or just because people trying to cut corners, get things done quicker, stuff like that. And a lot of a very common horror story I hear is the silk press, the infamous silk press horror story. You know, you get your silk press, it's nice and this ain't moving, you sweat and all this stuff, it ain't going nowhere. And then all of a sudden you realize it's wash day, right? You all right, you tired of your silk press now, you ready for your curls to come back. You washing your hair, there's nothing happening. You're wetting your hair, there's nothing happening. That is probably the scariest thing that can happen to a black woman. One of the scariest things that can happen to a black woman. You know what I mean? Not just a black woman, but anyone who gets a silk press and has curly hair, some kind of textured hair. Um, it's just too many stories like this. I want to harp on that. It's too many stories like that. Why is this something that's a constant? You know what I mean? From back in the day to now, this is still something that's happening. Whether it be out of spite, whether it be unintentional, it's something that just we need to have some kind of protocol. There needs to be some kind of hair salon inspector that goes, when if someone put in a complaint or something, you get a strike. You go back to beauty school or hair school, whatever it is. You redo the course, whatever it is. You come back. If someone has another horror story, something like this happens again, maybe you go on a probation or you just lose your license, or like just straight up you can't practice anymore. I feel like it's fair because just like any other thing, like whether it be being a doctor, any kind of malpractice, when you're servicing people or when you're dealing with people's well-being, wherever whatever part of their body you're dealing with, there should be intention, there should be care there. So just like a doctor, if they malpractice, they're banned. They can't practice anymore. They get some kind of fine, probation, whatever it is. It should be the same with hairstylists. Period. Now, there are times where these betrayals are closer to home. You carry your child to an aunt, um, grandparent, whoever. You carry them there, natural hair, nice, thick, luscious, well taken care of, healthy hair down their back. You come back, the hair is permed, it's cut, anything like that. Listen, I don't promote violence, y'all, but me personally, I taking my child home, I coming back there, and they can take the Lord Himself coming down and peeling me off of you to get me. You know what I mean? And then they like to hit the like, oh, it's just hair. It's just two black eyes. Like it'll heal. It'll heal. If it's just hair, it'll grow back. Then It's just black eyes. They will heal. Put some ice on them. Is like, yo, it's so spiteful. It's so spiteful. That I think that's one of my biggest, like, one of the things that rages me the most. Seeing stuff that are hearing stories like that. Because why are you putting your hand in someone else's child's hair without permission? I didn't give you permission. You didn't ask for permission. Why are you touching my child's hair? Or I tell you, maybe just, yo, it's starting to rain again. You know what I will say? Every episode brings its own unique problem, and it forces me to figure out how to solve it, how to regulate, how to grow, how to evolve. Oh my goodness. Like I was saying, um, as for me in my house, bro, just don't touch my children's hair. I feel like hair is a very sacred thing. So that whole, I mean, immediately, the whole thing about, oh, it's just hair, it'll grow back, is out of the window. And then, traditionally, these older black people, Bible believers, stuff like that, you know what I mean, who really strong in their faith, all these different things they claim to be, you would know that hair is sacred. You'd know the story of Samson. You know what I mean? It's like, not to necessarily say his hair was the source of his strength solely, but it's like it played a, you know what I mean? It was a representation of whatever. It was cut. He lost his strength. It's raining, and I'm still gonna finish this episode because guess what? I never cared unless it gets too hard. Anyway, ooh, what I would say now, we move on to locks. My segment about locks. My hair, to me, is a form of resistance. You know, y'all, is okay. My hair to me is a form of resistance. It always has been, and it probably always will. My locks, especially, I don't think I've ever really faced prejudice due to my locks, like to my face at least. A lot of things, a lot of prejudices I've not faced to my face. I've not had addressed to my face, or I'd hear little things, but ain't nobody ever really say anything to me. Um, I'm losing my train of thought, y'all. I can't have the laptop getting wet. I can't have the laptop. I can't. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. All right, bro. The camera is covered, so we could go. We could go for true. We go at it. Listen, my hair has always been a form of resistance for me. My locks. If I comb my locks, so like I had said earlier, I've been thinking about bringing the fro back, bringing the fro back, bringing the fro back. If I comb out my locks, it's not gonna be because of a job or because of a comment, or it's not going to be because of people. It's going to be between me and God. It's going to be something that I decide to do. I've been praying about it because I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and it may just be that kind of time. You know what I mean? But we'll see. My locks, like I had said earlier, it was a journey. I have all my electronics out in the rain, guys. This is how much I love y'all. This much. We almost done though. My locks, they taught me patience, a lot of patience. Just wanting my hair to grow. And the thing was, it was also a lesson of it also deprogrammed me, I feel like. Because for so long, I thought that the length of your hair equated to beauty. It didn't. And that leads me to the second point of my hair. Your hair being short, it forces you to focus more so on your physical, what you really have. You know what I mean? Your facial features, all that stuff. You can't run from it when you don't have long hair. You know what I mean? The shape of your face, y'all. I'm really recording in the rain, bro. I need to just find somewhere to put the laptop, and I really could finish. Um, the shape of your face, you can't hide it. You can't run from it when your hair is short, and it forced me to really learn to love myself just as I was, not because of my hair length or anything like that. So those are the two things I think my locks taught me. Just, it helped me to deprogram myself, as well as it taught me a lot of patience. And now, guys, in closing, what I want to say, learn to love yourself as you are. right? A lot of people think that they love themselves how they are, but they don't. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go get a wax, if you're gonna do any kind of maintenance, anything like that, if you're gonna get a new hairstyle, whatever it is, let it be just because you want it. And a lot of people think like, oh yeah, I want it. Like this is just something that I do. But my thing is, would you be okay not getting it? When it becomes a problem when you can't go without getting a wax because it's like, oh, I feel so. Blah, 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 blah. That's what's growing out of here. Oh y'all, let me close this laptop because yeah, my speakers. All right, cool. A lot of women think that they're okay with not doing these things, but you're not. You know what I mean? They freak out when they can't get a wax or when they can't get their hair done. That's not you doing it because you just want to do it. You're doing it for some deeper reason. Do you not feel beautiful? Do you not feel good without it? Would you be okay fully? Like if there was to take away all waxes in the world, if the world was to end, there was no more waxes. Well, I feel like you'd have deeper problems or bigger issues outside of the wax. But if the world was to end, not the world ending, but if all wax products was to go away, or all makeup products was to go away, or you couldn't do anything but your natural hair, right? No more. There was no more Kanakalon. I don't know if people was using the line of that. Afro kinky, like there was just no more of that, no more lace frontals, anything. That was just done for and done with. How would you feel? Like, would you be okay? If the answer is not 100% yes, surely, and I know some people may delude themselves into believing like, oh, I would be fine. I would not have anything to worry about. But really think about it. Would you be though? You feel me? If the answer is not yes, 100% confidently, if you're not able to do that, then do some self reflecting, do some introspection, and learn to love yourself. Learn to be comfortable in your skin. Because I'll tell you something, it took a while for me to get comfortable in my skin, and it's still something that I'm trying to do. Because obviously, as a woman, y'all, people expect me to shave and look a certain way, dress a certain way, all these different things. A lot that, like I said, comes with it. I've learned to just be myself and just love myself and not see myself as any less feminine because of me not shaving or because I don't dress a certain way, or you know what I mean, I don't keep my hair a certain way, I don't do my nails. I don't see myself as any less feminine. I don't want to be anything other than a woman. I'm content. I'm happy with who I am. That's me. You feel me? And once you get there, once you cool with that, once you really could die on that hill, once you could die on that hill, bro, you fine with that. It don't bother you what people may say or how people may feel. Then you got it, bro. But hey, all the rain stop. That's how you know I had a heavy message. That's how you know that I can hit home for somebody right there. Cause you see how the rain try to run me, right? Nah, son. I ain't going nowhere. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Wait, is there anything else I want to say? I don't think there's anything else I want to say. I need to make sure before I go. You feel me? I think we could end there. But y'all, we was talking about hair. It ended up going a little deeper than hair. So I think this could be another episode within itself. Everything about self love. It is gonna be another episode actually. So it's gonna be that's gonna be the episode on Wednesday actually. The mini sword is gonna be about self love. So yeah. With that being said, guys, blessings to you and yours. Stay hydrated, get educated, be liberated. G Money signing out. Oh.